Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something really special, a beer that's been capturing the essence of Italian craftsmanship for over 100 years. I'm talking about Nastro Azzurro. And trust me, this isn't just another beer review. This is a story about tradition, innovation, and what happens when Italian passion meets the art of brewing. Now, before we get started, if you're new here, welcome. We explore beverages from around the world, their histories, and what makes them unique. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And for those of you who've been here since day one, thank you. Let's get into it. So, let's start with the basics. Nastro Azzurro, which literally translates to blue ribbon, was first brewed in 1963 by the Peroni Brewery in Rome. But here's the thing. The Peroni story goes back even further, to 1846 when Francesco Peroni founded the company in Vigevano, Lombardy. The 1960s were an incredible time in Italy. Think about it. The country was experiencing its economic boom, Italian style and design were taking over the world, and there was this incredible sense of optimism and forward momentum. Nastro Azzurro was created to capture that spirit, to be a premium lager that could represent the best of Italian brewing on the international stage. What's fascinating is that while Italy is famous for wine, and rightfully so, beer has a long tradition there too. The cooler northern regions have been brewing beer for centuries, but Nastro Azzurro did something different. It took traditional brewing techniques and combined them with Italian flair and attention to detail. The name Nastro Azzurro itself is brilliant marketing. The blue ribbon has historically been a symbol of excellence and quality across many cultures. By choosing this name, Peroni was making a statement. This isn't just any beer. This is award-worthy. This is exceptional. And they weren't wrong. Within just a few years, Nastro Azzurro became one of Italy's most exported beers, finding its way into bars, restaurants, and homes across Europe and beyond. Now let's talk about what actually goes into making Nastro Azzurro, because this is where it gets really interesting. Nastro Azzurro is a pale lager, specifically a premium lager, and it's brewed using a traditional method that involves some pretty specific ingredients. We're talking malted barley. And the quality of this barley matters tremendously. The malt gives the beer its color, its body, and contributes to the overall flavor profile. Then you've got the hops. Nastro Azzurro uses a particular blend of hops that gives it that characteristic slight bitterness balanced with a clean, crisp finish. It's not overly hoppy like an IPA. This is meant to be refreshing, smooth, and easy to drink. The water is crucial too. The mineral content of water can dramatically affect how a beer tastes, and Italian water, particularly from certain regions, has qualities that really complement the brewing process. But here's what really sets it apart: the brewing process itself. Nastro Azzurro uses what's called maize, that's corn to us, in addition to malted barley. This might sound unusual if you're used to German purity laws, but it's actually a technique that creates a lighter, crisper beer with a delicate flavor. The corn adds a subtle sweetness and helps create that golden color you see when you pour it into a glass. The fermentation and aging process is meticulous. We're talking about weeks of careful temperature control, monitoring, and patience. This isn't a beer that's rushed to market. The result is that characteristic smooth taste, not too heavy, not too light, just balanced. So what does Nastro Azzurro actually taste like? Let me walk you through the experience. First, let's talk appearance. When you pour Nastro Azzurro into a glass, and yes, please use a glass, it makes a difference. You get this beautiful pale golden color with a nice white head of foam. It's visually appealing. And honestly, presentation matters when you're enjoying a good beer. The aroma is subtle and clean. You get hints of that malt sweetness, a touch of grain, maybe a whisper of citrus from the hops. It's not an aggressive smell, it's inviting. Now the taste. The first sip is crisp and refreshing. There's a light maltiness up front, then you get that clean middle, and it finishes with just a hint of bitterness from the hops. It's incredibly balanced. At 5.1% alcohol by volume, it's got enough body to be satisfying, but not so strong that it's overwhelming. The mouthfeel is smooth. There's a slight effervescence that keeps it lively on your tongue, but it's not overly carbonated. And here's what I really appreciate. The finish is clean. There's no heavy aftertaste that lingers for too long. It refreshes your palate, which makes you want another sip. This is the kind of beer that works incredibly well with food. Think about Italian cuisine: pizza, pasta with lighter sauces, seafood, prosciutto, even a nice caprese salad. The clean profile of Nastro Azzurro doesn't compete with food, it complements it. That's by design. But it's also perfectly enjoyable on its own. Whether you're winding down after work, hanging out with friends, or just enjoying a quiet evening, it fits the moment. Let's talk about Nastro Azzurro as more than just a beer, as a cultural phenomenon. If you've traveled to Italy, you've probably seen that distinctive blue label in cafes, restaurants, and bars everywhere. It's become synonymous with Italian style and sophistication. And that's not by accident. Nastro Azzurro has positioned itself as a lifestyle brand. Their marketing has always emphasized elegance, quality, and that indefinable Italian sense of la dolce vita, the sweet life. You see it in their advertising, their sponsorships, their packaging. They've sponsored major sporting events, fashion shows, and cultural festivals. The brand has worked hard to associate itself with excellence in all its forms, whether that's sports, design, or cuisine. And it's worked globally. Walk into a bar in London, New York, Sydney, or Tokyo, and you'll likely find Nastro Azzurro on the menu. It's become an ambassador for Italian craftsmanship and quality around the world. What I find particularly interesting is how they've managed to maintain that premium positioning while still being accessible. It's not pretentious or exclusive. It's approachable luxury, if that makes sense. It says, "I appreciate quality, but I'm not trying too hard." In Italy itself, Nastro Azzurro occupies an interesting space. Italians are fiercely loyal to their local products, and while wine dominates, beer has been gaining ground, especially among younger generations. Nastro Azzurro has managed to be both a source of national pride and an international success story. Now, I think it's important to talk about where Nastro Azzurro is heading in terms of sustainability and social responsibility, because this matters more than ever. Like many major breweries, Peroni, which produces Nastro Azzurro, has been working on reducing its environmental impact. They've made commitments to sustainable sourcing of ingredients, water conservation, and reducing carbon emissions in their production processes. Packaging has been a focus too. Efforts to increase the use of recycled materials in bottles and cans, improving recyclability, and reducing overall packaging waste are ongoing priorities. They've also invested in renewable energy at their brewing facilities and worked on making the entire supply chain more efficient and environmentally friendly. Now, I'll be honest with you, there's always more that can be done, and consumers are right to hold brands accountable. But it's encouraging to see these efforts being made and to see transparency around sustainability goals. For those of us who enjoy beer, I think it's worth supporting brands that are at least moving in the right direction on these issues. So how does Nastro Azzurro compare to other premium lagers out there? If you're familiar with beers like Stella Artois, Heineken, or Peroni's own standard lager, Nastro Azzurro sits in a similar category but with its own distinct personality. It's perhaps slightly more delicate than Stella, a bit more refined than standard Heineken, and has that unique character that comes from the Italian brewing tradition. For people who typically drink lighter beers, this is a great step up without being intimidating. For craft beer enthusiasts who usually go for IPAs or stouts, this is a nice palate cleanser or a refreshing option when you want something less intense. If you enjoy Nastro Azzurro, you might also want to explore other European lagers. Czech Pilsners, German Helles, or even some of the emerging craft lagers that are taking inspiration from these traditional styles. So here's my final take on Nastro Azzurro. This is a beer that does exactly what it sets out to do. It's not trying to be revolutionary or push boundaries. Instead, it's perfecting a classic style with Italian precision and style. Is it the most complex beer you'll ever taste? No, and that's not the point. It's about balance, drinkability, and that ineffable quality that makes you reach for another bottle. It's about enjoying the moment, whether that's a summer afternoon, a meal with friends, or just a quiet evening at home. What I really appreciate is the consistency. Whether you're drinking it in Rome, London, or anywhere else in the world, you know what you're getting. That same quality, that same experience. Now, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you tried Nastro Azzurro? What did you think? Do you have a favorite Italian beer or a go-to premium lager? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love hearing your perspectives. And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want to see more content like this, exploring the stories, the craftsmanship, and the cultures behind the beverages we love, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and you'll never miss a video. We've got so much more coming up, and I really don't want you to miss out. Also, if you found this valuable, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm show this content to more people who might enjoy it, and it lets me know that this is the kind of content you want to see more of. Finally, if you're watching on YouTube, check out the description below. I'll link to some resources about Italian brewing history, sustainable beer production, and some other related videos you might enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Until next time, salute, and enjoy responsibly.